very different, but tonight you also had to fight through. Like, how did you just find a way in this game?
I think we just stayed the course, and you saw our guys just step up and make huge plays, led by DG, and Karras was huge, Max was big, JA and Evan obviously doing their thing. Just as they've been doing all season, just every guy stepping up at different times and rallying the storm. Obviously, last night was an emotional win. Come back tonight and just when a team's shooting like that, I don't care what their record is. It's not easy to beat them. So just weathering the storm and staying in the fight.
Why are these types of wins just as important as last night, as an example?
They count for the same. They count for the same. And it's just a matter of just getting better and just you want to be in as many dogfights as possible and kind of find out who you are and find out who you are through adversity. So I think when you're down double digits late in the third and you rally back, just adds to the experience of this team.
Darius has a season high 40, obviously gets that big three there at the end of the fourth. How was he leading you guys down the stretch when things were a little bumpy there?
I'm not gonna lie, it's getting a little exhausting. Like every game we come, how good is Darius? It's like we get it, like he's great.
Well, what else should we ask?
I think he should just be an all-star starter, and we should just call it a day, and we should all move on. You know what I mean? I think that's what it's time for that. I think.
Okay.
But no, he's our leader, and he's been steady for the first. How many games we played?
37.
He's been steady for 37 games. He's been shooting the crap out the ball. He's been selfless, and we go as he goes, and he's been great.
I will not ask you how great Jared Allen has been. You learned that from last night. So anybody else who would like to ask?
Jared Allen's also an all-star. Okay.
Kenny's talked about how Max has been a jolt off the bench and sparking, and talking about how he not only brings the offensive spacing that everybody knows about, but rebounding, leadership. What have you learned about Max in the last couple of years being here and seeing what he's brought to this organization?
Yeah, he's a winner. I think that's what it starts with Max is whether he's making threes or not, he's a winner. He competes, he rebounds, he defends, and then he's not afraid to take a big shot. And he's going to make most of those big shots. So you need guys like that in your team. Just like I said, he's a winner, and where we want to go, he's almost been there.
You both was there.
But no, Max is great, man.
How do you think you guys, Kenny talked about pregame being worried that this might be, coming off last night's game, one of those nights for you, and it almost was.
It wasn't normal, it was.
But just how do you think you guys are handling being the top dog that everyone's coming after now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it still just starts with us, like our habits, and I think when you have good habits, they show when it matters most. And you saw when we made that run at the end of the third, start of the fourth, like our habits showed. It was like the extra possessions on the glass. It was you finally get a stop and you play with some pace. You touch the paint, and, you move the ball, and the threes get easier. And I think over the course of 48, it's not always going to be perfect. When you have good habits, they continue to show, and you kind of break through and find a way.
Given how competitive that game was last night and how intense it was, what was the process to get your minds right for the next game less than 24 hours later?
Yeah, I mean, it's like any back-to-back. I mean, you kind of saw, I think, earlier in the season we had a home back-to-back. We had Golden State, and then the next day we came and played Brooklyn. And it was the same type of story. Like, Brooklyn was up the whole fourth, and we came back and fought at the end. So I think anytime you have a back-to-back, like, you're never going to be fresh. But, I mean, you got to give some credit to them, too, because they shot the crap out of the ball. Everybody shot well. I think they were, 50% from threes, 60% from the field. And they weren't all wide open. Like, they made some tough ones. So I think some credit goes to them, too.
What are the moments like for you guys when you need a guy to come in clutch? They do. They can hit a dagger and kind of put that game away. What's it like for you guys as a team on the court?
I mean, it's almost like we expect it now. You know what I mean? Whether it's DG, Dom, JA, it's always someone. It's just we got a lot of guys that can do that, and a lot of guys. Nobody's afraid of the moment, and we kind of expect it from our guys.
I mean, you guys doubled the franchise record for scoring 130 or more points in a game in a season in January. Does that mean anything to you when you talk about the offense or anything like that?
No.
Why not?
I think you kind of set goals in the beginning of the season and about the team you want to be. I think it's a good stepping stone, if that makes sense. But I don't think at the end of the year we'll be like, oh, in January we scored 130 however many times. You know what I mean? No, seriously. Like I don't. It doesn't mean much. I think it's a good mark of like where our offense is right now. But if we don't keep getting better, it really means nothing.